Hello, legends and super legends. Welcome to Veloharmony.
I'm doing a review on the new Santini Karma kit. Santini sent me a kit to review, and I'll finalize it today, but that's what I'm wearing. It was all black, so I'm putting on, maybe I should wear white, I don't know, but I'm putting on these neon looking socks. And it's time to roll. So, not sure who's going to show up, but we'll see.
I'll be doing a review of this Santini Karma kit. I got the kit from Santini while we're setting up the conference call for the team jersey design. The guy handling the account wanted me to try the Karma kit as a consideration for what we may want to use in the future, because we're doing this Sleek 2.0 right now. And so he sent the kit in the mail, and I got to use it on this ride. I'll do a review this week. Pretty decent kit, but the one we're going with for our team kit is a couple of steps up. Yeah, on this ride, we just headed out. I'm having some technical things with the lap time on the display there, and even the distance is a little off. I'm not really sure what's causing that, but I'll get that sorted soon in the near future. I had problems getting into display. So we get to this intersection here, and Christian kind of leading us through. I'll go ahead and roll past Paul, since he left a gap and I just kind of filled it. So on this ride, we found that the day before Friday, Paul had a pretty heavy day doing a lot of stuff that had been piling up for him. So he was a little tired when he got to the ride. So most of the ride, he just kind of sat in just to stay with the group. So that's why you're going to see me on Christian's wheel and Paul on my wheel most of the ride. Later in the ride, he assisted with some pulls as he started to feel better. So I'm staying a little to the left of Christian because the wind there's not much wind, but when you're moving, you're going through wind. And so I'm trying to stay where I can find the most shelter. So around this corner, I kind of take a wide line. Just let it roll. There's a bit of an incline here. It says 1%. I think it's a little more, but it's short. The water you see on the roads from people, sprinkler systems that they don't adjust it very well, so it waters the pavement. So I ride up to Christian, just kind of sit. I'm within about 12 inches from his rear wheel. He's a very experienced rider, so I don't really mind following him close. I don't really pay that much attention because he does everything really smoothly. But if you're following somebody who you're not comfortable with, about a foot or more, what you see there is good. As long as you don't overlap, you're okay. A lot of riders that are new to cycling, they make a lot of deliberate moves, very drastic movements, and those are the kind of riders that are very hard to follow closely because they don't do things very smoothly. It comes with experience, so you have to know who you're following. So if you notice here, I'm staying pretty close to Christian. He stands up because he doesn't want to shift, just to keep that gear rolling that he's in. I remain seated the whole time. I'm keeping my cadence anywhere from 75 to 90 throughout this ride. A lot of the ride here, we ended up just sitting at cruising speed. We didn't have too many speed changes. on the clips anyway. Some of the other parts of the ride that I didn't get clips for, we would attack every climb that would come. Every time the road went up, we would sprint up the climb. And I removed most of my poles because when I'm pulling, you just get to see the road because I've got a camera on my helmet. So he's standing against the roll to keep his gear rolling. Since I'm using a slightly smaller gear than he is, I'm spinning up to him instead of standing. So right here we see a car, I called car, and Christian rolls because he knows there's nothing coming after that car. So most of this ride, I mean, we ended up setting a really good time on this ride. That wasn't a goal, but we just rode 20 to 23 was most of the pace we were holding. And that's up or down. It didn't matter. We're climbing 18 to 20 most of the time. So the pace just stayed high the whole ride. It ended up being a very, very good workout. If you look at my cadence, I'm in the mid 80s. And I'm in a gear that I can go faster. Now, Christian moved over because there was a car behind us. And this part of the road is just one lane. The lane's wide. But as a courtesy, he moved over. So we all moved over. And the driver wasn't sure. Because normally, if it's a bigger group, we stay in the lane. But since it's just three of us, just to be nice, we moved over. So I end up waving the driver through. You can see him come by. And then I look back, nobody's coming, so I told Christian it was clear, but he stayed there. I just stayed on the road. I like to use the road as opposed to that little pavement. That pavement is not a bike lane. It's there to basically keep the road from being washed away when we have a lot of rains. So they add that to keep that concrete stable. That's really why it's there. That's why it's so narrow, but we have a lot of that in this area. So when I ride solo, a lot of times I'll ride there because it's not that bad. The only issue is every time there's a curb, the curb gets in the way. So it's not always good. He's letting us know about this car in the turn circle. So we're using the right lane. So this part of the shoulder is a lot wider than we normally have, and so he's using it again. I just stayed on the road. I'm in a moderate gear and I'm just standing and rolling it. So I was actually feeling pretty good today. And you can see we went up like it was like 1% or so, and we carried 20 to 21 thereabouts. Now we're doing 24, slightly downhill or flat. But we're moving 25 miles an hour. So we didn't do a whole lot of accelerating. So after our stop, the wind was back. So the wind is coming from our in front and to the right. You can see where Paul is. At this point, Paul is feeling better, so he goes to the front to take a little bit of a pull. We're going into the wind, so, you know, the speed drops, of course. I'm in the same ratio. I'm in a 53, 19, or 17, something like that. And when the speed slows down, I don't do a whole lot of shifting. This road is not, it's a slight grade in some points, but at some points, but it's not that bad. It's just, it's open and the wind is always here. I actually kind of like this road because after the hills, it really tests you on the way back. So Christian goes to the front. I get on his wheel. I tried to film when someone else was pulling other than me, because when I'm pulling with the helmet on my helmet, there's not a whole lot on there, and I didn't have the rear camera on this bike. So you can see this shoulder is about a 4-foot shoulder. It's pretty wide. And so Christian is staying a little to the right so that we can have some room and not have to be in traffic. So I'm staying on his left because the wind is coming. It's like a cross wind, but mostly from the side as opposed to the front. That's why I'm staggered a little bit to the left. So he's pointing out something here. I mean, it looked like nothing, but it ends up being a block of wood. It's significant enough. If you hit that thing and you're not expecting it, it can cause you to fall. It was like a 1x2 that was cut about the size of a brick that was lying on the road. And so you guys can see how he just casually pointed to it. By pointing to it, we just move away, as opposed to when people yell. You know, you want to just point to the obstacle, because by us seeing your hand, we know not to go to where your hand is. We don't have to actually see what you're pointing at. And I think that's very effective. So I like riding with Christian and Paul, because when we're riding, we're smooth. We see a couple of riders up there. We're just coming up on them. You know, we're holding a pretty good 21 miles an hour into this wind. And I'm just sitting in a big gear rolling it. So Christian's letting us know. I look back, make sure it's clear so we can use the road. We spoke to the guy. It turns out the guy up here is one of our buddies that we used to ride with Veloharmony with the UMC guys. That's Bob. Our strong boy domestique here. We didn't realize it till.
Hey Bob. Hey man. How you doing?
So when I passed him, I said, "Oh, that's Bob." And Bob looked like he hadn't been riding as much because he's put on a few pounds. But Bob used to be a lot smaller. So I think he's just, he's been off the bike for a little while. You know, life interrupts. So he ends up catching up with us up here. You know, right here, there's an intersection at the newest toll road they've built in this area. I avoid those things unless I absolutely have to. You take my money, build a road, then charge me for it. Like, you know. Got enough stuff we're paying for. I don't do toll roads.
How you doing, man?
Bob's our all-around strong boy.
My derailleur, I think, just broke my front derailleur. Oh yeah. So it's only staying in the low gear right now.
Yeah, it's probably just a cable needs to be adjusted.
New cable.
Yeah, or just tighten it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Bye guys.
Okay.
Have fun.
Okay.
See ya.
Good to see you.
Yeah, the issue Bob described sounds like either the limit screw on the front derailleur or the cable just needs to be tightened. If it's not getting up on the big chainring, those are the two things you look at first. I don't think he needs a new cable. Those cables will last for years. So Christian resumes, and he's been sitting there for a while, so I decide to come to the front to give him a break, but then he talks me out of it. He tells me he wants to show me where he's going to be moving next weekend. He's going to take the front here.
Okay. All right.
So he's going to take us to the area. There's a new neighborhood being built, and he and his wife are going to move in there. It's closer to the areas we ride. It's a little north of where they are right now. But this way they won't have to be using their cars to transport the bikes as much. It's not too far from here, so he decided to stay in the lead to show us where they're going to be. So I'll let him lead. That wind's still out there. The wind is actually blowing from the right more than from the front. And so we're turning here. He lets us know that he's going to be turning. So I told Paul that Christian's going to show us where he lived because Paul was not aware of it. We're turning into some new subdivision. Of course, I know all these roads back here, so. There, we turned into the wind. Look at our speed. It went from 22 to 18. And Christian put his head down immediately. So you can see I got real close behind him. I'm trying to find the draft. It's not perfectly behind him because we got wind coming from the left a little bit, but it's more from the front. I mean, he's putting a lot of force on those pedals, and we're doing 18. I've got 78 RPMs, and we're doing 18, 19. I'm in a 53, 19, I think, something like that. Pretty moderate gear. When I go in the wind, I like to feel the gear. I like to feel like I'm climbing a mountain or something. So you can see everything on the side is cleared. They've cleared all the trees because these are going to be lots that will be sold for single family dwellings. You can see all the houses. There's some new houses here, one wrapped in white. New construction. And some completed construction.
That's Misty Valley over there. Misty Valley. That's Misty Valley. That road, you know this area. Yeah, that road goes back to Stubner Airline. Yes. Yeah.
So Christian's showing us where his house is going to be.
Okay. In that side? Okay.
So it's already built. So he's going to be there. He'll be moving next
10:30.
weekend.
So good time. Good time. Nice. Yeah. Good time. Good time.
He needed to get back early.
Good ride. Good
So
ride.
we finished the ride
Good ride.
long before the time he needed. He had said 11. So at 10:30. On this road, he goes straight because he rides from his house.
All right.
Goes straight.
Take
We
care,
turn
Christian.
left.
Okay. Tell Elena hello. Okay. Okay. We can turn.
So Paul hung in there today. I give him credit.
Huh?
Christian is a fun guy.
Yeah, Christian and his wife picked that neighborhood because they like this side of town. And then they won't have to put their bike in the car all the time. Saying he's going to be local, he figured. Good morning.
All right, good morning.
He figured that out.
Yeah, it's still morning.
Yeah, it's still morning. It's just 10:38.
No way.
Yes, yes. Back at the beginning of the ride. And it's
I was laughing because those
been
people
a
thought
good
it was
ride.
later than
About
it
80
was.
kilometers, 2 hours and
They were
48
making
minutes.
that little run to the
80K.
convenience store.
We held a good pace. It's a good hard ride. I think I got enough clips to where I hope you guys enjoyed it. I rode the Santini Karma kit that they sent. I got a kit from Santini. I'm going to do a review of that.
Right about here, I
Performed
see the
well.
guys that I used to ride with, the UMC guys, going the opposite
I don't know
way.
if you guys can see the kit.
I slowed the clip down a little bit.
Our neighborhood is having another party
They're on
again.
the left there.
They always have a party.
So if you look right at the intersection here, there they come. That's Ken in the front. And I look back and there's the rest of them coming across. So I slowed it down so you guys get a shot. It's about 5 of them, I think.
That's the UMC boys.
So that was what we did on Saturday.
The guys I used to ride with.